But there are so many people who don't feel equipped to be able to share or evangelize scripturally. And so there's a mentorship that's going to be happening alongside that. But let me just tell you, when the Lord got a hold of my heart and my eyes and my ears, I didn't know Bible verses. I can't necessarily spit them out as my right hand. I know stories and I know the parables, and I've almost read front to back. This is the first year I'm doing the Bible in a year. It's been so fun. But to read every single word and every single line in the Bible, we're always becoming. Okay, I'm going to go back to my book plug. Okay, we're always becoming. No one is perfect. No pastor who has hundreds of thousands of people in their congregation is perfect at it. Jesus is the only perfect one, and therefore there should be grace connected to that. There should not be condemnation when you are sharing the word, and to know that we're always learning. So even on the Girls Gone Holy podcast recently, I was sharing my own personal revelation in regards to scripture that I was reading that morning. And after the show was done recording, which we have already discussed that we're there to sharpen one another. So if I am pulling something out of context, please let me know. And one of my girlfriends, one of our sisters on the show, Jessica Shakir, who's incredible, and just has such a heart for like dissecting the word and learning and going deeper, and utilizes the Strong Concordance Bible. And that's like basically saying the roots of the words and where they're coming from, stuff that we geek out on that show. It's really fun. And she was sharing that was actually about the devil. So while I was like saying, God, I just feel like he spoke this over me this morning, and he was giving me affirmation about the conference. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's actually like a funeral song for the devil. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I knew that contextually, but that morning, that's how the Lord spoke to me. And he used his very words, the very word, to press onto my heart affirmation. So is that wrong? I don't think so. I mean, God wouldn't say it was wrong. It'd be wrong if I was like making that my banner song, probably. But two, it's important that we have the context and we can share. So all of that to be said, if you feel ill-equipped to go and to start a podcast about anything that is aligned, can I just ensure you that your voice and your specific imprint to said voice matters? And the way you're telling a story, when God got a hold of me, like I said, I didn't know all of these things, and yet I had a story. Do you think the woman at a well who just met Jesus had scripture memorized? Now, maybe because of the way context of society was and the training up, but generally it was the boys who knew the scripture and were like embedded from a Jewish tradition, Hebrew tradition, to be able to learn scriptures. So just please don't discredit yourself. I honestly think it's rooted in pride. And there's other things that we can go down. If you are, let's say, struggling with something like addiction, and I was struggling with addiction when I started my podcast, addictions of things I didn't even know. I was having this brilliant conversation with a world-renowned speaker and trainer, and just incredible heart yesterday. He's spoken on stages. I think he said just this year he'll have spoken on stages that have reached over 750,000 people in person. So almost 1 million people in person. I just think that's so cool. I was like, wow, what a messenger, millionaire messenger. That's the heartbeat of not only our, what's it called? Our freebie, our downloadable, our landing lead magnet that you can go download as well. How to become a millionaire messenger. It's the heartbeat. It's the heart posture of wealth. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have millions of dollars, but what if your podcast, which ours is, could touch millions of people, right? What if you're speaking on stage because you've come to our Impact Speaker Retreat in February, and you now have the access point to be able to get on stages? What if your podcast is the way in which you establish that confidence and camera courage, as one of the girls on Girls Gone Holy specializes in, Melissa Hughes? These are real conversations, and I just want to like poke holes in that mindset. So let me share with you, because I'm badgering you a little bit here, saying start a show. We do our own training of that. All of our authors get to become podcasters, because if you have a book, which we have, I think, am I a six-time best-selling author. Our new book of The Joyful Entrepreneur came out, and we want you guys to go and pre-order this as well, and order this now. I don't know why I said that. Just order it, not pre-order it. Order it, get it in your hands. It's going to be at all bookstores And Barnes and Noble already accounted it as a #1 bestseller. So lots of cool traction. I say that because if you have a message inside you, which we all do, it's the message, it's his message. We are conduits of said message. And the way in which you share that, no different than the disciples, is going to be through your own testimony. Okay. And the testimony is what breaks chains. And therefore, that's why I feel everyone should have a podcast. Everyone should write a story. Everyone should speak on a stage. Your stage might be your local coffee shop. Your stage might be your kitchen when you're talking to your kiddos. I don't care. Change your perspective on what is success versus what is sustenance in the kingdom and go and do the thing. Okay. So my mindset issues, my struggling issues with this is I have 3 podcasts. I am present on social media, but my content strategy is lacking, slacking, has been like bar none. And that's not always been the case. We've definitely done a lot more in the past when I had help in that regard with our designer. And she also played the role of social media manager, even though that wasn't really her zone of genius. Y'all, a lot of people do a lot of things. They wear a lot of different hats. Here's a Halo hat. I'm telling you about all the things that I do in one podcast. This is so fun. Halo Hat is a part of our nonprofit. All of the funds, 100% of the funds go to establish Founder Academy and the Founder Con. So if you love fashion as much as I do, these are a one size fits all. I'll show you if you're looking at the video, because you can literally tighten all of these. Every single one is uniquely made with its own halo band. It has a verse of the quarter, whatever the seasonal verse is, as well as a seasonal flower and pop of color that is connected to scripture and meaning. I think everything should have extra layers of meaning because it all does. So there's the Halo hat. I think that with all the content and all of the things that we're putting out on a consistent basis, there's a multitude of things. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to like beat a dead horse, I guess would be the language. I don't want people to feel like, oh my gosh, like it's a perception thing, I guess. So here's me being raw. I'm like processing out loud with you guys what's stopping me from posting more? What's stopping me from feeling as though my posting is going to affect somebody else? If God is calling me to do it, it should affect somebody else. That's the whole point, right? There's fruit on the other side of it. And I think it's an element of sloth. It's laziness. And so again, my mental, my beliefs, my mindset is connected when it's hindering God's will for my life. It's connected to sin because there's only a plus or a minus. There's only a yes or a no. There's only a truth and a lie. And so is it true that I am not capable of, or that I don't have time to, or that I am not eloquent enough, or that, these are some of the things that I'm saying. And, or the look good, feel good one of like fear of success. What if I do post 3 times a day and I do have 1 million followers? Am I going to be able to sustain that? Am I going to be able to handle that? Will people treat me differently? I have had a girlfriend who is a Christian influencer who was with me in another city recently. And she's like, it's actually sometimes scary. Like people know me when I go places and I have to be mindful when I'm traveling by myself. And I thought that to be so bizarre because I had never had to think about that before. But isn't that like what famous people can't go anywhere without paparazzi? Like that's not fun. But what if that happens to me?